This is the demonstration video for BA 254 Excel Project 1.1 Part A. You'll find the Excel project underneath our Excel menu item in our course homepage. To open up the project, simply click on the file, in this case 1.1 Blackboard Excel Basics. We'll be running through just Part A in this video. If you look at the project itself, Part A says to construct a relative frequency distribution from the given data. The given data is included in a tab in the file, the project file. And it says find the frequency, hint, use the COUNTIF function for all classes and calculate in decimals and percentages the relative frequencies for each class. And then we're going to construct a column graph, remove the spacing, and construct a pie chart. Now the demonstration data that I'm going to use is essentially the same data that you see online in the demonstration data folder. Now one of the things that we can do when we are first looking at a set of data within Excel is to figure out kind of what we're given. In this case, I've got a ton of different information loaded into this demonstration file, and if it's not easy to see exactly what's contained in there. So one of the ways that I can do this is to actually add a data filter. So I can go to my data ribbon up top, click on filter. It'll then allow me to have this drop down menu, this little chevron. It essentially tells me what the different values, unique values are in that part of my spreadsheet. This helps me figure out exactly what my strategy is going forward. If there were a lot more items on this list, I might approach this problem a bit differently. But here, despite the fact that I've got quite a large set of data, I really only have 4 unique, in this case, colors. So eventually I'm going to count how often these different colors appear. So I'm going to create this small little table off to the sides. And when I want to create, within Excel, if I want to tell Excel that I'm going to put in a calculation or a formula or give it a location, of course I hit the equal sign, and then I can tell it, in this case, I want this D5 cell to be the same as the value that's in B4. I can progressively go through the different colors that are out there. And what this is going to do is create a little matrix that I can start to go in and actually search for these different values. Eventually what I want to do is count them. So now that I'm going, now I've created this start of the table, I want to go in and count the number of times that blue appears. Where I'm going to find that functionality is I'm going to go up to my formulas ribbon, go down to more functions statistical, and go down to this COUNTIF function. I'm then going to insert that. My range is all of my data that appears, or all of my data that I'm going to count all the values within. Now, if you can't find a function within Excel, by all means search for it with kind of the little blue help circle. This is very helpful. There's a lot of information there that will point you towards additional resources and specific links within Excel. Now that I've highlighted the range, okay, this is essentially saying I've got 10,200 and change, all right, different values. I can go in and actually search for all of the ones that are blue. Hit OK, it's automatically then gone in and searched for, or actually counted up, and found that there's 4,747 times that blue appears. Now in preparation to copy this down, I also want to go in and actually create what's called an absolute reference by putting in these dollar signs into my formula. What this will do is make sure that this area of my spreadsheet as I copy and paste or fill down remains in the same location. Now when I fill this down, I'll notice, or you will notice, that the location within the spreadsheet stayed the same, which was good, but then it also moved this cell reference down as I had copied, which also I wanted to see. Now bear in mind, you can always go in and change how things appear. There's a lot of the formatting functions within this home ribbon within Excel. If I want to change the borders, I can certainly do that here. I can change the background color or the fill color if I so choose. There are lots of different options available. I can go to no fill, etc. Now I also say find the relative frequency for each. In preparation for that, what we're going to do is then insert a formula here. We're going to sum up and find what is the total number of colors that appear. In this case, there's 10,284. I can then go in and tell it, all right, I'm going to figure out what percentage were blue. So I'm going to say this cell right here divided by my total. And again, in preparation to copy this down, I'm going to want this value in the denominator to stay there. So I'm going to click on F4. That's going to keep that absolute reference there. Now when I copy it down, all right, my formula is correct. Things that I wanted to see move or change in reference to that location have done so. And then here with the total that I want to remain in the denominator stayed there as well. Now that we've got this table created, I want to go in and actually create a couple of graphical graphical representations of this relatively simple data. We're going to go up and insert, in this case, a 2D or a 3D, some type of bar chart. In this case, I chose a 2D bar chart. You'll notice that I highlighted on the data first. Otherwise, it will give me an empty chart. Gets me pretty close to where I want to be. I don't want to go in. I don't like the fact that it has chart title up here. I'd rather edit this title into the data. So what I'm going to do is, instead of going in and treating it like a text box, I'm actually going to go into my data, and I'm going to edit the select data. I'm then going to edit the data series, and I'm going to give it a series name. In this case, I'm just going to name it random color frequencies, and instead of typing that in, I can just give it a location. One of the things I ask you to do in the project as well is to go in and remove the spacing between these bars. So if we go to the Format Data Series, we can go to Gap Width and we can zero that out. You'll see that that has removed the spacing. We could also go in and put in some outlines or some effects. In this case, we could shadow it if we wanted to. I don't know, soft edges. I have absolutely no idea what that means, but go for it. Give it a shot. And you could also change it to different 3D formats. So by all means, go in and take a look through those different areas. In this case, I am going to add a solid line around. Now you'll see that we've removed the gaps. We've added the solid line. We can also go in and edit these individual data points. In this case, we could change the fill color, change that to yellow. We could change this, of course, to red. So we can actually go in and change individual data series if we want them to appear differently. Okay. The next thing I would like you to do is to go in and create a pie chart. So again, we're going to highlight the data first, go to our Insert ribbon, go up to a pie chart, and that got us essentially what we're looking for. And we can resize and move these graphics around within Excel quite easily. Right? In this case, I would like to go in and change it like I did before and make sure that we edit the data series and get rid of the title. So I'm going to again go to Select Data, edit the data series, and as I did above, give it a title, in this case Random Color Frequencies. Again, feel free to reformat this graphic however you deem appropriate. But in essence, that completes the demonstration for BA 250 for Excel Project 1.1a.